What if the universe is a servant, silently responding to the signal of your soul? This audiobook reveals the ancient law that answers not your words, but the vibration you embody. As you listen, you'll uncover why effort has failed you, and why life has been waiting for you to align with its deeper order. The universe is a servant. Introduction. The essence of manifestation lies not in the words you speak, but in the vibration you emanate. Like a tuning fork resonating with perfect pitch, your emotional state sends ripples through the fabric of existence. This universal law operates with unwavering precision, responding not to your wishes, but to your energetic signature. You have always been a creator, shaping reality through the invisible force of your consciousness. Every thought you nurture, every feeling you cultivate, becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. The universe, in its boundless wisdom, does not judge these seeds. It simply provides the conditions for them to grow. This power flows through you as naturally as breath, yet its mastery requires understanding. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs in harmony, you activate a force as ancient as creation itself. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the art of becoming a conscious participant in the cosmic dance of creation. Your role in this grand design is both privilege and responsibility. As you awaken to the truth of your creative power, you must wield it with wisdom and grace. The universe responds to authenticity, not to desperation or force. It honors the law of free will, never imposing, but always reflecting what resonates within you. The key lies in emotional coherence, the alignment between your desires and your deepest truth. When you feel abundance, you attract abundance. When you embody love, you draw love toward you. This is not magic, but natural law, as reliable as gravity, yet as subtle as quantum entanglement. Remember, the power to shape reality has always resided within you. It awaits only your recognition and conscious direction. Through understanding this principle, you step into your rightful place as a conscious creator in the vast tapestry of existence. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Discovery of Universal Servanthood. Chapter 1. The Whisper That Changed Everything. In a small town, as morning light painted the sky in gentle hues, Clara sat on her wooden porch. Day after day, she watched life unfold before her in the same muted tones, despite her earnest prayers and careful plans. Yet on this particular dawn, something shifted within her, a peaceful knowing that settled over her like a warm embrace, whispering an ancient truth. The universe responds not to words, but to the signal of your soul. The language of manifestation speaks through feeling, not through carefully chosen phrases. Your emotional frequency becomes the tuning fork to which the universe harmonizes. When you dwell in worry, more situations arise to justify that worry. When you rest in gratitude, life reflects back reasons for thankfulness. Milton discovered this wisdom through his own journey. Night after night, he paced his floor, calculations spinning through his mind as financial pressure mounted. His desperate search for money only seemed to multiply his needs, creating a cycle of scarcity that echoed his internal state. Each anxious thought attracted more reasons for anxiety, until he felt trapped in a maze of his own making. Then, one evening, exhausted from his constant striving, Milton surrendered. Instead of focusing on what he lacked, he began to appreciate what remained. He felt grateful for the air in his lungs, the roof over his head, the possibility that lived in each new moment. As he shifted his emotional stance from scarcity to abundance, the universe responded in kind. His phone rang with an unexpected opportunity, one that had existed all along, waiting for him to align with its frequency. This truth reveals itself in countless ways. The universe mirrors your emotional state with perfect precision. Your feelings become the mold into which experience pours itself. When you attune yourself to the vibration of what you desire, rather than the absence of it, you open the channel through which manifestation flows. Sacred practice. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Rather than focusing on what you need, immerse yourself in the feeling of already having what you desire. Let relief wash over you like a gentle rain. Feel the emotional texture of fulfillment, the quiet joy of desires met. Make this your daily practice until your inner climate naturally predicts your outer reality. Chapter 2. The Eager Listener. The heart yearns with such pure intention, yet often speaks a language that betrays its deepest desires. This truth became clear through gentle Ruthie's journey. For years she knelt in prayer, believing that love would come if she only asked fervently enough. Each night, her prayers rose like incense to the heavens, yet carried within them the weight of absence. Though her words spoke of hope, her energy whispered of lack, and the universe, ever faithful, reflected back this emptiness. You see, the universe responds not to the intensity of your effort, but to the quality of your vibration. It is an instrument of perfect pitch, resonating with whatever note you hold longest in your heart. When your dominant frequency speaks of wholeness rather than wanting, of completion rather than seeking, the universe arranges itself accordingly. Consider Otis, whose story unveils this principle with crystalline clarity. His bakery had been more than a business. It was the vessel of his dreams, the home of countless morning smiles and warm greetings. When he lost it, despair settled over him like a heavy flower coating everything in its pale desperation. Yet wisdom found him one afternoon as he sat in his empty kitchen. Instead of dwelling in the ache of loss, he allowed himself to feel the joy of creation once more. In his mind's eye, he saw sunlight streaming through windows, heard the gentle whir of mixers, and felt the satisfaction of pulling golden loaves from the oven. He began living from this place of fulfillment rather than void. The universe, perceiving this shift, orchestrated what appeared to be a miracle. A friend's unexpected offer, a perfect storefront waiting to be filled with the aroma of fresh possibilities. But this was no miracle. It was simply the law at work, responding to his transformed vibration. The truth stands revealed. Your outer world must follow your inner state, as surely as dawn follows night. When resistance dissolves, when your energy aligns with what you desire rather than its absence, manifestation flows with natural grace. Sacred practice. As each day draws to a close, settle into a space of quiet reflection. Feel deep gratitude for the unseen manifestations already orbiting your life, waiting for your emotional permission to materialize. Let your heart resonate with the feeling of completion, knowing that what you seek is already seeking you. In this vibration of fulfillment, you open the gateway for your desires to step through into physical form. Chapter 3. The Law That Never Sleeps. In the eternal dance between consciousness and creation, your emotional state conducts the symphony of circumstances that surround you. This wisdom revealed itself through Curious Benny, who began to witness how his inner atmosphere shaped the world's response. Each morning brought fresh evidence of this truth. When his heart sang with gratitude, synchronicities bloomed like spring flowers in his path. When worry clouded his thoughts, obstacles appeared with matching precision. The universal law of obedience operates with unwavering constancy. Like the rising sun or the turning tide, it requires no belief to function. It simply is. Your thoughts, charged with feeling, become commands that echo through the fabric of existence. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, must respond to these vibrations, for such is the ancient agreement between creation and consciousness. June's story illuminates this principle with crystal clarity. A gifted singer, she faced what seemed a cruel twist of fate when her voice vanished on the eve of her most important performance. In that moment of crisis, she first cried out in despair, asking why such a challenge would appear. But then, in a moment of divine inspiration, she shifted her energy. Instead of fighting against her circumstance, she embraced it with grace. In the silence of her room, she offered gratitude for the hidden blessing within this trial. She felt in her heart the joy of singing with renewed strength, allowing this feeling to fill her entire being. When dawn broke, her voice had returned, as pure and clear as morning light. This transformation reveals a fundamental truth. What appears as surrender to the universe's wisdom is actually the highest form of power. By aligning your vibration with trust rather than resistance, you open the channels through which miracles flow. The universe stands ready to manifest whatever frequency you hold, consistent within your heart. Ancient practice for vibrational mastery. Set your timepiece to mark each hour. When it signals, pause and observe the emotional energy you're broadcasting into the universe. Remember, this very feeling is being received as a command for future manifestation. If you detect frequencies of fear, anxiety, or doubt, gently shift your vibration toward trust, peace, and certainty. Know that by maintaining awareness of your emotional transmissions, you become the conscious creator of your circumstances rather than their passive recipient. Chapter 4. The Mirror Garden. Peppy Hannah's tale mirrors this eternal truth. Each morning she would venture into her garden, water can in hand, muttering about tardy blossoms despite her faithful attention. The flowers remained stubbornly closed, reflecting her own tightly wound expectation of disappointment. One golden afternoon, her neighbor, whose garden overflowed with vibrant blooms, shared a simple yet profound insight. Flowers grow by sunlight, not size. In this moment lies a cardinal truth. The universe responds not to your actions alone, but to the energy infusing those actions. Just as a garden thirsts for both water and warmth, your desires require both effort and joyful expectation. Your perception becomes the soil in which all possibilities take root. The universe mirrors your expectations with perfect fidelity. When you plant seeds of thought in soil enriched with gratitude, results blossom naturally, unforced by anxiety or doubt. This principle found perfect expression in Ernest's journey as a writer. For years he crafted novels that gathered dust, each rejection deepening his desperate plea for success. His breakthrough came not through improved technique, but through a fundamental shift in energy. When he released his grip on outcomes and surrendered to the pure joy of storytelling, the universe responded in kind. His words, now flowing from a place of authentic delight rather than needy ambition, found their way to eager readers. Publishers who had turned him away now sought his work, drawn by the magnetic force of his aligned creativity. The message rings clear. Joy itself becomes the creative current that commands universal obedience. When you align your actions with genuine appreciation, you activate the law's most potent expression. The universe cannot help but respond to authentic gratitude with matching abundance. Ancient practice. Before the sun rises each day, stand in quiet contemplation of all that remains unfinished in your life. Bless each incomplete project, each unrealized dream, each dormant seed of possibility as though it already thrives in full bloom. Feel genuine gratitude for these works in progress, knowing they are merely manifestations gathering momentum in the invisible realm. Watch how your appreciation becomes the warmth that coaxes forth new growth, while the frost of complaint only delays the natural unfolding of your desires. Chapter 5. The Currency of Emotion. You have discovered that your attention is an investment, and your emotions are the currency that shapes your reality. When smiling Dorothy faced the sudden loss of her position, she learned a wisdom as ancient as time itself. Tears may flow freely, but worry extracts a far greater cost. Each anxious thought was a payment made toward circumstances she did not desire. The universe, in its infinite precision, purchases experiences with the emotional currency you spend most freely. When you invest in fear, more fearful circumstances appear. When you invest in joy, life returns dividends of delight. Your feelings are your cosmic credit line, and happiness maintains an unlimited balance. Calvin's experiment with this truth yielded remarkable results. On a particularly dreary morning, rather than matching the weather's melancholy, he chose to cultivate an inner brightness. He walked through the rain-soaked streets, holding fast to his chosen vibration of cheer. As if by magic, yet perfectly aligned with universal law, his outer world began to mirror his inner state. Strangers who would normally hurry past with downcast eyes began offering warm smiles. The gray sky seemed less oppressive, and opportunities for connection emerged like sun rays through parting clouds. His experience demonstrates a fundamental principle. The conditions of your life flow toward whatever draws your emotional focus. This is not mere positive thinking or self-deception. It is the precise operation of universal law. Your consciousness, charged with feeling, becomes a magnet attracting corresponding reflections in physical reality. The wisdom embedded here transcends simple cause and effect. You are not merely reacting to circumstances. You are actively directing the flow of creation through your emotional investments. When you understand this power, you recognize that every feeling is a seed planted in the garden of possibility. Ancient practice. Find a quiet moment at sunrise or sunset. Sit in stillness and imagine your emotional energy as golden coins of light. For 7 breaths, consciously spend these coins only on visions that bring you joy. Feel the warmth of delight spreading through your being as you invest in the reality you wish to create. Practice this daily, building your emotional wealth until manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. Remember, the universe matches your investments with divine precision. Choose wisely where you spend your emotional currency. Chapter 6. The Willing Servant. In the quietude of an ancient garden, kind Hazel came upon a truth that would transform her understanding of universal law. She had spent years repeating her wishes like sacred mantras, believing that persistence meant devotion. Yet with each desperate plea, she unknowingly broadcast a frequency of lack into the cosmic field. The universe, ever faithful in its reflection, responds not to the quantity of requests, but to the quality of certainty behind them. When you repeatedly ask for the same blessing, you transmit an underlying doubt about its arrival. This doubt becomes the dominant vibration, and the universe, bound by law, must echo it back. Your relationship with the infinite mirrors the most subtle qualities of your inner state. Think of a confident child who asks once for what they desire, then returns to play, utterly certain their wish will manifest. This pure faith carries more magnetic power than 1,000 anxious prayers. Floyd's experience illuminates this principle with crystal clarity. His family had been fractured by misunderstandings, and his initial response was to orchestrate reconciliation through forced apologies. But one evening, he released his grip on the situation. Instead of trying to manipulate outcomes, he simply held a vision of harmony in his heart, as natural as breathing. He did not beg or plead, he simply knew. The transformation that followed seemed miraculous to those who witnessed it, yet it was merely the universe responding to his shift in vibration. Without prompting, family members began to soften toward one another. Conversations that once sparked conflict now flowed with understanding. Peace descended upon his household like morning dew, gentle, natural, and all-encompassing. This teaches us that the universe responds most powerfully to quiet certainty. When you know, truly know, that your desire is already fulfilled in the unseen realm, you need only ask once. After that, your task is to maintain the feeling of fulfillment, letting your faith be stronger than any temporary evidence to the contrary. Your worth is inherent and absolute. The universe does not require convincing. It awaits only your alignment with this truth. When you ask once and relax into certainty, you honor both your divine nature and the perfect law that governs all creation. The ancient practice. Find a quiet moment at sunrise or sunset. Speak your desire once, with the same casual certainty you feel when ordering a meal you know will arrive. Then, consciously release it to the universe. Throughout your day, whenever thoughts of your desire arise, simply smile as though remembering something wonderful that has already happened. Feel the warmth of gratitude for its completion, even before physical evidence appears. This is not pretense. It is alignment with the higher truth that all manifestation begins in the unseen realm of pure potential. Chapter 7. The Frequency of Permission. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, operates through a simple yet profound principle. It serves those who grant themselves permission to receive. You may have noticed how blessings seem to flow naturally to some while appearing distant to others. This difference lies not in worthiness, but in allowance. When you hesitate to embrace your good fortune, When you question whether you deserve abundance, you create an energetic barrier that even the most willing universe cannot cross. Like gentle Addie, you might find yourself whispering your desires from behind walls of doubt, hoping yet fearing their fulfillment. But the universal law knows no judgment. It simply mirrors back the permission you grant yourself. Consider how a flower doesn't question its right to bloom. It naturally opens to the sun, accepting nourishment without reservation. This is the state of being the universe responds to most powerfully. Pure acceptance of good without the shadows of unworthiness. Harvey's journey illuminates this truth with particular clarity. As a child, voices of limitation taught him to shrink from his own light. Each success brought discomfort. Each compliment triggered resistance. Yet when he began accepting praise with grace, allowing his light to shine undiminished, the universe matched his new vibration. His promotion wasn't merely a career advance. It was the universe's recognition of his shifted state of allowing. The wisdom here rings clear. Your ability to receive equals your ability to attract. When you declare, "I am worthy," without qualification or apology, you align with the natural flow of abundance. The universe then moves through the channels you've opened, bringing experiences that match your newfound acceptance. This ancient truth transforms when you embrace it fully. Allowance creates as surely as intention. Your permission becomes the pathway through which universal good flows into your life. Every time you accept joy without question, you widen this channel. Each moment of self-acceptance becomes an invitation for greater blessings. Practice for allowing. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Place your hand upon your heart and speak these words silently to the universe. I am worthy of ease, joy, and abundance. I grant myself full permission to receive all good things. Feel the truth of these words resonating in your body. Observe how life responds with precise obedience, bringing experiences perfectly matched to your new vibration of acceptance. Let this practice become your daily reminder that worthiness needs no earning. It simply awaits your recognition. Chapter 8. The Invisible Contract. In the depths of spiritual truth lies a revelation that many seekers overlook. The power of genuine feeling behind each thought you cast into the universal field. Your words, no matter how perfectly chosen or frequently repeated, carry only the weight of the emotion that accompanies them. Consider Louise, whose dedication to affirmations filled countless journals. Day after day, she wrote intentions with meticulous care, yet her desires seemed to echo in an empty chamber. Her persistence was admirable, but her heart harbored a secret doubt that nullified each carefully crafted phrase. The universe, ever faithful to your true vibration, responds not to the poetry of your words, but to the music of your belief. The law of attraction operates through emotional resonance, not verbal repetition. When you speak of abundance while feeling lack, you sign your cosmic contract with the ink of scarcity. When you affirm success while clutching fear, you authorize the delivery of more uncertainty. The universe, in its perfect obedience, must fulfill the energetic order rather than the verbal one. Chester's journey illuminates this principle with crystal clarity. For months, he diligently recited prosperity affirmations, his voice growing hoarse with determination. Yet his bank account remained unchanged, reflecting the underlying tension in his spirit. Then, one evening, sitting in his garden as the sun painted the sky in hues of gold, something shifted within him. A genuine wave of gratitude washed over his heart, not for what he wanted, but for all he already had. In that moment of authentic appreciation, Chester's entire energetic signature transformed. His previous affirmations, once hollow shells of hope, suddenly filled with the light of true belief. Within weeks, unexpected opportunities arose, old debts found resolution, and resources flowed from seemingly impossible sources. The universe had not changed its laws. Chester had simply aligned his inner frequency with his outer declarations. This ancient wisdom whispers a truth you may have sensed. The universe reads your emotional signature as the final authority on every request you make. Your feelings are the true affirmations, broadcasting continuously, whether you speak or remain silent. Words become powerful only when they match the frequency of your heart's conviction. Practice. Sit in stillness each morning. Take 3 deep breaths and center yourself in the present moment. Choose one affirmation that resonates with your deepest desires. Now, before speaking it aloud, search your heart for absolute truth. If you detect any doubt or resistance, simply remain in peaceful silence, allowing your belief to strengthen naturally. When you feel genuine alignment between your words and your emotional state, speak your affirmation once with quiet conviction. Remember, a single statement backed by true belief holds more power than 1,000 repetitions empty of feeling. Let your heart's wisdom guide you in knowing when to speak and when to nurture your faith in silence. Chapter 9. The Obedience of Light. In the brilliance of a new morning, sweet Lucy sat watching sunbeams pierce through her window. Each day, without fail, light arrived unbidden. No prayers needed, no desperate pleas required. This simple observation unveiled a profound truth about the universe's unwavering nature. The light teaches us the most fundamental principle of universal operation: absolute consistency in its service. Just as sunbeams return faithfully each dawn, the universe responds with unchanging loyalty to the light of your consciousness. Your attention acts as a cosmic beacon, guiding manifestation with precise obedience to wherever you shine it. Within every thought you hold lies an illuminating power. When you focus your mental light upon any situation, the universe must respond, not because you command it, but because it cannot help but follow the law of its own nature. Like a flower turning toward sunlight, reality bends toward the radiance of your sustained attention. Raymond discovered this truth during his struggle with illness. Rather than dwelling in the shadows of his symptoms, he began directing the light of gratitude toward his body. Each morning he would sit quietly, imagining healing warmth flowing through his veins. He didn't fight against his condition, but instead illuminated it with appreciation for his body's natural healing wisdom. Gradually, like dawn breaking over distant hills, his health began to improve. Medical tests showed unexpected progress, and his energy returned, not through force or struggle, but through the gentle persistence of grateful attention. The universe, ever faithful to its own laws, responded to the quality of light he chose to shine. This mirrors the eternal truth. What you illuminate with your attention grows stronger in your experience. The universe operates like a cosmic garden, where your consciousness is the sun. Every thought you hold consistently becomes a beam of light. nurturing the reality it touches into fuller expression. The light you shine through grateful attention becomes the path through which the universe delivers your desires. It cannot resist following your focused awareness any more than a plant can resist growing toward sunlight. This is not manifestation through force, but through alignment with natural law. Sacred practice. When challenges arise, sit quietly and envision them surrounded by soft, healing light. Rather than wrestling with problems, bathe them in the gentle radiance of your attention. Picture this light dissolving resistance and revealing solutions. Continue this practice until you feel your mind shift from argument to acceptance, from struggle to solution. Let your consciousness become like the morning sun, transforming shadows into clarity through its mere presence. Chapter 10. The Power of Still Command. In a small village where ancient wisdom still echoed through cobblestone streets, youthful Nora paced beneath storm clouds, her heart heavy with unfulfilled wishes. Each day she pleaded with the universe, her voice growing louder as her frustration mounted. Yet the more forcefully she demanded change, the more stubbornly her circumstances remained unmoved. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds not to volume, but to vibration. When your desires emerge as desperate cries, they carry the frequency of lack rather than abundance. Like a gentle stream that shapes mighty mountains over time, true power flows in whispers rather than shouts. Dean, a merchant who had lost his fortune, discovered this truth during his darkest hour. Seated in his empty storehouse, he had exhausted himself with prayers and petitions. One evening, as golden light filtered through dust-covered windows, he surrendered to silence. In that sacred stillness, he simply repeated, "I trust," not as a demand, but as a peaceful acknowledgement of universal order. Within days, a stranger appeared with counsel that transformed his approach to trade. This was no mere coincidence, but the natural response of an obedient universe to clear, quiet certainty. When Dean ceased fighting against what was, the universe could finally hear the pure note of his intention. The law operates with perfect precision. It must answer the vibration you transmit. Loud wanting creates static in the cosmic frequency. Like a radio seeking clear reception, the universe tunes in most precisely to serene signals. Your role is not to shout your desires into existence, but to align your energy with the quiet confidence of one who knows their wish is already granted. When you release the need to force outcomes through sheer will, you discover the paradox of manifestation. The less you struggle, the more power flows through you. The universe requires no convincing. It simply awaits your settled certainty. Here lies wisdom passed down through ages. Stillness commands more firmly than noise. In the silence between thoughts, in the pause between breaths, in the space where trust replaces trying, there you find the frequency that moves mountains. Practice. Each day, set aside moments to release urgency during desire. Breathe deeply and allow calm certainty to become your natural state. Feel how this stillness creates space for universal forces to align perfectly with your intention. Let your wishes rest in the quiet confidence of knowing that what is meant for you cannot miss you. The universe, ever obedient, responds most powerfully to the peaceful assurance that all is well. Part 2. The Art of Conscious Command. Chapter 11. The architecture of belief. In a humble dwelling at the edge of an ancient forest, charming Mabel sat watching shadows dance across her wall. As sunlight shifted through leaves, she witnessed how each shadow took perfect form from the branches above, an exact reflection of unseen patterns. In this quiet moment, wisdom dawned. Reality itself follows the same principle, taking shape from the invisible architecture of your assumptions. The universe operates as a master builder, translating your beliefs into experience with unwavering precision. Each thought you hold becomes a cornerstone. Each assumption forms a beam, and your consistent expectations raise the walls of your life structure. This is not metaphor, but mechanism, the exact process through which the formless takes form. Harold's tale illuminates this truth with particular clarity. After losing both his livelihood and health in rapid succession, he dwelled in a mental house of despair. His thoughts echoed with phrases like, "Everything goes wrong," and "Life is against me." And sure enough, the universe manifested countless proofs of these assumptions. Then one morning, while watching a bird carefully construct its nest, Harold glimpsed a deeper truth. If even tiny creatures could build their homes with such certainty, perhaps the universe itself possessed an inherent benevolence. That day, he chose to lay a new foundation in his mind. Life conspires in my favor. At first, this felt like fiction, yet he maintained this blueprint faithfully. Within weeks, small mercies began appearing, a chance meeting with a healing practitioner, an unexpected opportunity for work, a forgotten debt forgiven. The universe had simply shifted its construction to match his renovated beliefs. Your mind is the architect, drawing plans the universe must follow. When you assume lack, structures of limitation arise. When you blueprint abundance, pathways open. This is not magical thinking, but universal law, the faithful translation of inner blueprints into outer form. Each moment presents a choice. Which assumptions will you allow to become your building blocks? What foundation are you laying with your consistent thoughts? The universe asks no questions about your blueprints. It simply builds accordingly, brick by invisible brick. The power in this truth lies not in forcing yourself to think positively, but in understanding your role as the designer of your experience. Just as an architect need not build the structure personally, but must provide clear plans, you need not know how your good will arrive. Your task is simply to maintain the blueprint of possibility. Practice. Begin each day by checking your assumptions as a builder inspects their materials. When you discover a limiting belief, "I'm too old," "It's too hard," "Good things happen to others," consciously redesign it. Replace rigid walls with windows of possibility. Instead of "I can't," draw plans of "I am learning how." Rather than "It's impossible," sketch "I am open to unexpected ways." The universe, your faithful contractor, will begin construction immediately on your revised plans. Let every thought be chosen with the care of one who knows they are drafting tomorrow's reality. For in truth, you have never ceased building. You are simply now becoming conscious of your role as the architect of your experience. Chapter 12. The field responds to fun. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, playful Sally stood amidst merchants calling their wares. While others pushed and strained toward their desires, she danced between stalls, treating each goal as a treasure hunt. The universe responds, not to the weight of your wanting, but to the lightness of your being. When you infuse your seeking with joy, you align with the natural flow of creation. The universe delights in playful expectation, for it mirrors the effortless abundance that exists at life's core. Your dreams are not burdens to be carried, but gifts waiting to be unwrapped with childlike wonder. The law of attraction flows most freely through channels of delight. When you release the grip of desperate pursuit and embrace the spirit of play, you open pathways that struggle keeps closed. The universe responds to this shift in frequency, bringing forth manifestations that match your joyful state. Leonard discovered this truth during his journey toward prosperity. For months, he had forced himself through rigid affirmation routines, speaking words of abundance with clenched determination. His efforts yielded only exhaustion, for tension cannot conduct the current of creation. Then one evening, weary of strain, he began to dance. As music filled his home, he allowed himself to move freely, imagining success as a playful partner in his dance. He spun with his dreams, laughed with his visions, and felt abundance as a natural rhythm in his being. Within weeks, opportunities appeared as if summoned by his joy. Creative projects, unexpected collaborations, doors opening with elegant timing. This transformation reveals a fundamental truth. Joy itself is serious magic. When you approach manifestation with lightness, you carry faith without effort. Your smile becomes a signal, your laughter a beacon, drawing forth experiences that match your elevated frequency. The universe responds not to the force of your striving, but to the freedom in your heart. Each dream you hold becomes magnetic when wrapped in the energy of play, for joy is the natural state of creation itself. Practice. Close your eyes and transform today's greatest desire into a playful game. See yourself as a child in the garden of possibility, where every step holds wonder. Smile as if success were already teasing you around the corner, playing hide and seek with your awareness. Let this lightness carry you through each action, knowing that joy itself is the shortest path to manifestation. Chapter 13. The Grateful Request. Through ancient streets, a merchant traveled each morning to sell her wares. Before opening her basket, faithful Eleanor bowed in gratitude for the customers yet to arrive. While others rushed to display their goods, she first filled the air with appreciation, sensing that thankfulness itself magnetized prosperity. The universe operates through an eternal law. Gratitude precedes granting. Just as the soil must be prepared before seeds flourish, your heart must overflow with thanks before abundance flows. This sacred principle reveals that appreciation is not merely a response to receiving. It is the very force that draws forth manifestation. When you stand in genuine gratitude for what appears absent, you transmit a frequency the universe cannot ignore. Your thanks becomes a declaration of readiness, an energetic signature that marks you as prepared for increase. The cosmic forces recognize this vibration as proof that you have matured beyond wanting into knowing. Walter discovered this truth during a time of illness. Rather than fixating on symptoms, he began each dawn by thanking the universe for the wellness flowing through his body. Though physical evidence suggested otherwise, he maintained this practice of grateful anticipation. As his appreciation deepened, subtle shifts appeared, first in his spirit, then in his cells. His healing arrived in perfect synchrony with his inner peace, teaching that gratitude itself is a healing force. This mirrors an eternal truth. The universe responds not to need, but to acknowledgement. When you thank life for gifts still wrapped in invisibility, you demonstrate trust in the perfect unfolding of divine timing. Your gratitude becomes the key that unlocks the storehouse of infinite supply. Yet this is not about pretense or denial of current circumstances. Rather, it is about expanding your awareness to include the unseen reality where all possibilities already exist. Your appreciation reaches into this field of potential and draws forth that which matches its frequency. The wisdom is clear. Thankfulness is not passive waiting but active creation. Every thank you uttered in advance becomes a magnetic force, drawing your desires through the invisible into form. The universe delights in fulfilling the visions of those who appreciate before receiving. Practice. As the sun rises tomorrow, sit in peaceful solitude. Close your eyes and imagine the feeling of your deepest desire already fulfilled. Let genuine gratitude fill your heart for this manifestation, though it remains unseen. Thank the universe with the same joy you would feel upon receiving. Maintain this practice daily, allowing your appreciation to become the bridge between wanting and having. The future you envision will find you through the doorway of your thanks. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Magnetic Word. In a quiet village between ancient hills, optimistic Pearl understood a truth that many overlooked. Each dawn, she whispered blessings into the emerging light. This day unfolds in perfect harmony, or joy flows easily to me and through me. What began as a simple practice revealed the commanding power of words joined with unwavering belief. The universe responds not to empty phrases, but to declarations infused with certainty. Your words are more than mere sounds. They are instructions to the infinite, blueprints that the cosmic forces follow with precise obedience. When you speak with conviction, you engage the creative principle that shapes worlds. Clyde, a merchant in the bustling city, discovered this wisdom through an unexpected teacher, his daily commute. For years, he had cursed the traffic, his anger growing with each delayed journey. Then, one morning, something shifted within him. Instead of complaints, he began blessing each car, each traffic light, each moment of pause. "I move in divine timing," he would say, feeling the truth of these words in his heart. Within weeks, his route transformed. Green lights welcomed him, spaces opened precisely when needed, and a sense of flow replaced his former frustration. This transformation reveals the hidden mechanics of manifestation. Words carry vibrational frequencies that ripple through the fabric of reality. When you curse circumstances, you command more cursing to manifest. When you bless life, you instruct the universe to multiply blessings. It is not magic but natural law. Like attracts like with unfailing precision. The power lies not in the words themselves, but in the emotional current that carries them. Pearl discovered that her morning blessings worked because she felt their truth while speaking them. Her phrases weren't wishes but declarations of what she knew was already true on an unseen level. The universe, being an obedient servant, simply made visible what she claimed in her heart. Think of your words as seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. Each thought you speak with feeling takes root in the invisible and grows into visible circumstance. This is why ancient wisdom teaches to guard your speech as you would guard a precious garden. Every word carries creative power, shaping tomorrow's experiences with today's declarations. Practice. Speak as though each word is a seed, and water it with delight, knowing your sentences bloom as scenery tomorrow. Begin with 3 statements that resonate with joy in your heart. Feel their truth as you speak them, knowing the universe cannot help but obey the frequency of your conviction. Chapter 15. The Sacred Pause. In the bustling market square, thoughtful Irene watched her basket slip from her hands, spilling fresh fruits across the cobblestones. Her first impulse was to cry out in frustration. Yet in that fleeting moment between event and reaction, she caught herself. Instead of unleashing worry into the air, she paused, breathed, and felt a wave of peace wash over her. To her amazement, 3 strangers immediately stepped forward to help gather her scattered purchases, each offering kind words and warm smiles. The universe honors this sacred space between stimulus and response. Within this pause lies the power to redirect the course of creation itself. When you halt the automatic surge of reaction, you gift yourself a moment of divine choice. In this stillness, you may select the vibration you wish to send forth into the waiting world. Consider how the ocean responds to a storm. The surface may churn with temporary chaos, but in its depths, a profound calm remains undisturbed. You possess this same capacity for inner stillness amidst external turbulence. The pause is your gateway to this deeper wisdom. Lester, a merchant known for his quick temper, discovered this truth during a heated dispute over a contract. As harsh words rose to his lips, he remembered to pause and take 3 steady breaths. In that space of suspended reaction, clarity dawned like morning light through clouds. The words that eventually emerged from his lips carried understanding rather than anger. What could have spiraled into conflict transformed into an opportunity for both parties to find common ground. Each pause becomes a prayer of sorts, a moment of communion with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all of creation. Within this intimate silence, the universe whispers guidance that your racing thoughts might otherwise drown out. It is no coincidence that the most powerful transformations often begin with a single moment of chosen stillness. Your response to any situation becomes the instruction you send to the universe. When you pause before reacting, you reclaim your power as a conscious creator rather than remaining a creature of habit. This simple practice allows you to transmit clear signals rather than static, born of impulse. The sacred practice. Find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Bring to mind a situation that typically triggers an immediate reaction. Now, practice standing in the pause between thought and action. Notice the sensations in your body, the rhythm of your breath. Listen for the still, small voice of wisdom that emerges in the silence. Let this pause become your sanctuary of conscious creation. Chapter 16. The Reflection Principle. Curious Bonnie sat in her garden, puzzled by the harsh words that seemed to follow her everywhere. From her supervisor's constant critiques to strangers' curt responses, life appeared to conspire against her peace. One evening, As she gazed into her reflection pool, wisdom dawned like the first rays of morning sun. The ripples of her own self-judgment had been creating waves that returned as external criticism. The universe operates as a perfect mirror, reflecting with unwavering precision the vibrations you emanate. Every criticism you direct inward multiplies outward, manifesting as encounters that echo your internal dialogue. The outer world serves as a faithful-looking glass, showing you exactly what you believe about yourself. Eugene, a merchant who once attracted difficult customers daily, discovered this truth during a moment of clarity. His inner dialogue constantly repeated phrases of unworthiness and judgment. When he began healing his relationship with himself, speaking to his soul with gentleness instead of reproach, an extraordinary transformation occurred. His previously demanding clients softened their approach, and new customers brought appreciation and respect. This mirrors the ancient wisdom that your environment responds not to your wishes, but to your self-concept. When you judge yourself harshly, the universe obediently arranges situations that validate these beliefs. Yet, when you cultivate inner kindness, reality reshapes itself to match your renewed self-image. The judgment you perceive from others is not their creation, but your reflection. Each critical word you receive carries a message about where healing awaits within. This is not to assign blame, but to reveal your power, to transform your experience by transforming your self-perception. When you understand this principle, every challenging interaction becomes an opportunity for inner growth. Each person who triggers discomfort serves as a messenger, pointing to areas where self-love can replace self-judgment. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, will continue presenting these mirrors until you recognize your own light in them. Practice meeting every irritation with compassion. Recognizing each mirror cleaned polishes your world brighter. When criticism appears, pause to examine where you might be judging yourself similarly. Let each reflection guide you toward greater self-acceptance, and watch as the world responds with increasing kindness and understanding. Chapter 17. The Circle of Allowing. In a village among ancient hills lived gentle Violet, whose days were spent in constant pursuit of her dreams. She watched the clock like a hawk, measuring progress in anxious moments, her heart racing with every perceived delay. Each morning brought a fresh surge of urgency as she pushed and prodded at her desires, believing that speed equaled success. The universal law whispers a different wisdom. Allowing completes what intention begins. Like a flower that cannot be forced to bloom, manifestation follows its own divine timing. Your role is not to chase, but to trust, not to demand, but to receive. Morris, a craftsman of fine instruments, learned this truth through his own journey. For years he struggled to establish his reputation, working frantically to meet self-imposed deadlines. His workshop became a temple of tension rather than creation. Then one autumn evening, exhausted from his endless striving, he surrendered to a simple truth. The universe knows the perfect season for each blessing. In that moment of release, Morris began treating his craft as a meditation rather than a race. He worked with care but without urgency, trusting that each instrument would find its perfect owner at the perfect time. Within months, word of his exceptional work spread naturally, and orders flowed in with an ease he had never known in all his years of pushing. The universe operates with impeccable timing, orchestrating countless elements to fulfill each desire. When you release the need to control the when and how, you allow these elements to align without resistance. Your task is to plant the seed of intention and then step back, trusting in the invisible process of growth. Like a river that flows most powerfully when unobstructed, manifestation moves with greatest force through the channel of acceptance. Pushing creates ripples that disturb the natural current of creation. Allowing smooths the path for divine timing to work its perfect magic. Ancient truth reminds us that what you seek is also seeking you. The universe's response is already in motion from the moment you form a clear intention. Your allowing becomes the bridge between desire and fulfillment. Practice loosening your grip each evening, picturing the universe finishing your request lovingly in your sleep. Feel the peace of knowing that while you rest, infinite intelligence continues its work, weaving together the perfect circumstances for your good. Chapter 18. The Hum of Alignment. In a sunlit music room, balanced Ruby drew her bow across violin strings, her trained ear catching the slightest deviation in pitch. One note, barely off-center, created ripples of discord through an otherwise perfect melody. Through this simple observation, a universal truth unveiled itself. Just as musical harmony depends on precise vibration, your life circumstances align with your emotional frequency. The universe operates like a grand orchestra, where your dominant feeling sets the key signature for all that follows. When your inner tone wavers, external experiences reflect that instability. Yet when you maintain steady vibration in joy, peace, or gratitude, reality orchestrates itself to match your song. Franklin, who managed a busy office, discovered this principle during a period of constant workplace tension. Each morning, he arrived bracing himself for conflict, unconsciously tuning his expectations to discord. The atmosphere grew increasingly strained until he realized his anticipation of problems was conducting a symphony of stress. Choosing a new approach, Franklin began each day in quiet meditation, allowing feelings of calm and appreciation to fill his consciousness. He would sit in his car for 5 minutes before entering the building, mentally rehearsing harmony rather than chaos. Within weeks, the office dynamic shifted mysteriously. Conversations became more measured, solutions emerged naturally, and cooperation replaced confrontation. The interpretation rings clear. Harmony isn't something you find, but a state you maintain. Like a skilled musician who constantly adjusts their instrument, you must regularly tune your emotional frequency. The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to the vibrational note you hold consistently. When you discover yourself in circumstances that feel discordant, pause to check your inner tuning. Are you vibrating with worry, resistance, or judgment? These create static in your life's melody. By adjusting your emotional pitch back to peace and allowing, you enable the universe to orchestrate more harmonious conditions. The law operates with perfect precision. Your outer world will always harmonize with your inner frequency. This isn't about forcing change, but about maintaining the pure tone of well-being until your environment naturally resonates in kind. Practice. Close your eyes and listen inward until your feelings hum with contentment before moving into any decision. Just as a musician tunes their instrument before playing, attune your emotional state before taking action. Let your inner harmony be the conductor of your day's symphony. Chapter 19. The Infinite Echo. In the heart of a verdant valley, joyful Lydia climbed a grassy hill one morning, her spirit soaring with newfound understanding. At the summit she opened her arms wide and shouted, "Yes," into the waiting air. The sound bounced back, multiplied. Yes, yes, yes. Each echo carrying the same vibrant energy she had released. This simple moment contains one of the most fundamental truths of universal law. Every emotional proclamation returns to its source with perfect precision. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, operates as a grand echo chamber, reflecting back not just the words you speak, but the feeling tone that carries them. When you release an emotion into the cosmic field, it travels outward like a ripple on still water, touching everything in its path before returning to where it began. This principle operates with unwavering consistency. Joy returns as joy, doubt as doubt, abundance consciousness as material abundance. Virgil's story exemplifies this truth with particular clarity. For years he walked through life wearing the heavy cloak of pessimism, viewing each day through gray-tinted lenses. The universe, being the faithful mirror it is, responded by presenting him with precisely matched circumstances, delayed opportunities, strained relationships, and seemingly endless obstacles. Yet the moment Virgil discovered laughter, genuine, soul-deep laughter, everything shifted. It began small, with a sudden appreciation for morning sunlight, then grew into unexpected phone calls bearing good news, chance meetings with helpful strangers, and eventually a complete transformation of his circumstances. The universe had no choice but to echo his new emotional frequency. This law operates with mathematical precision. Like the physics of sound waves, emotional vibrations travel outward at the speed of consciousness, touching the far corners of creation before returning home. There is no judgment in this process, no evaluation of whether you deserve what you're asking for. The echo simply returns what was sent, amplified by the vast chamber of infinite possibility. When you understand this principle, you recognize the profound power of your emotional broadcasts. Each feeling becomes a seed, planted in fertile universal soil, growing into experiences that match its nature. Your task is not to force or manipulate this process, but to maintain the pure tone of your desired experience. The law of echo teaches that creation doesn't require struggle or strain. It asks only for clear, consistent emotional signals. When you align your inner state with what you wish to experience, the universe must, by its very nature, respond in kind. Sacred practice. As the sun rises each morning, find a quiet space where you can be alone. Close your eyes and cultivate the exact emotional quality you wish to experience in your life. Feel it fully, as though it were already present. Then, with all the joy and certainty you can muster, speak an emotional yes to this feeling. Let this affirmation ring out from your heart, knowing the universe will echo it back through the circumstances of your life. Maintain this practice for 7 days, observing how reality begins to mirror your emotional proclamations. Chapter 20. The Royal Servant. In the bustling marketplace of life, wise Esther walked with quiet confidence, her steps measured and graceful. Unlike those who rushed about with desperate prayers, she carried herself with the dignity of one who understood a profound truth. The universe stands ready as a devoted servant, awaiting clear direction. Each morning, Esther would rise before dawn, seat herself upon her simple chair as though it were a throne, and issue her intentions with serene authority. She never begged, pleaded, or doubted. Instead, she emanated the calm assurance of one who knows their word is law. The universe responded to this regal energy with swift precision, arranging circumstances with an efficiency that seemed magical to others. This mastery of commanding with dignity arose not from ego, but from Esther's deep understanding that each soul carries divine authority. She recognized that the universe delights in serving those who claim their spiritual birthright with grace and wisdom. Roger, a merchant whose shop teetered on the edge of closure, observed Esther's bearing and had an awakening. He saw how she received life's gifts, not with surprise, but with gracious expectation. Inspired, he began carrying himself differently, replacing his desperate energy with quiet nobility. Where once he had anxiously courted customers, he now welcomed them as honored guests in his establishment. Rather than fret over finances, he issued clear intentions with the certainty of one directing a loyal steward. Within months, his business transformed. New opportunities appeared as if summoned by an invisible herald. Beneficial partnerships emerged, and prosperity flowed with elegant ease. The universe responds not to volume, but to vibration. When you approach life with the dignity of your divine heritage, creation itself bows in recognition. This is not pride, but proper alignment with universal law. Just as a king or queen need not shout to be heard, your intentions carry more power when delivered with quiet authority. Think of yourself not as a supplicant before cosmic forces, but as a wise ruler working in harmony with natural law. The universe eagerly awaits your commands, ready to orchestrate circumstances in service to your highest good. Practice. Each morning, before the world awakens, take your seat as though upon a throne. Feel the mantle of divine authority rest upon your shoulders. Issue your intentions not as wishes, but as royal decrees, knowing the universe stands ready as your most loyal servant. Trust that perfect timing and divine orchestration are already in motion, serving the wisdom of your commands. Part 3. The Mastery of Benevolent Power. Chapter 21. The Responsibility of Majesty. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, stands as both servant and teacher. Through its perfect obedience, it reveals the sacred responsibility that accompanies creative power. You possess a divine birthright to command, yet this authority must be wielded with grace and wisdom. Noble Edith discovered this eternal truth through experience. In her eagerness to demonstrate her newfound power, she began using manifestation techniques to outshine others, directing energy toward personal gain without consideration for the greater good. The universe, ever faithful, magnified her influence exactly as commanded, yet the results brought isolation instead of joy, competition instead of cooperation. Her achievements felt hollow, lacking the sweetness that accompanies harmonious creation. When you tap into the creative force of the universe, you become a channel for infinite power. This power flows most purely when guided by benevolent intention. Like a mighty river, it requires careful direction to nourish rather than overwhelm. Clarence embodied this lesson through his journey with success. Initially intoxicated by his manifestation abilities, he broadcast his achievements with pride, keeping his techniques secret to maintain advantage. Yet as his boasting increased, his momentum mysteriously waned. The universe, reflecting his energy precisely, began delivering experiences that humbled his spirit. Through this reflection, Clarence discovered that true mastery lies not in accumulation, but in circulation. When he began sharing his blessings and teaching others to access their own power, his prosperity multiplied beyond measure. His story illuminates the principle that joy shared creates abundance, while joy hoarded diminishes. The universe responds not just to your commands, but to the spirit behind them. When your intentions align with the highest good, when your success uplifts others, the universe moves mountains to support your vision. This is not moral instruction, but natural law. Like water flowing downhill, power naturally seeks harmonious expression. Your royal authority grows stronger through responsible stewardship. Each time you direct energy toward collective benefit, you strengthen your connection to universal forces. The most potent manifestations arise when personal desires align with universal harmony. Sacred practice. Before sleep each night, sit in quiet reflection. Envision each of your desires rippling outward, blessing all they touch. Feel how your success could uplift others, how your abundance could nourish the whole. Let this expanded vision infuse your manifestations with divine purpose. The universe delights in fulfilling wishes that carry the signature of collective harmony. Chapter 22. The Heart Switch. In the quiet hours before dawn, tender Millie sat surrounded by vision boards and carefully crafted plans. Despite her meticulous strategies and detailed goals, manifestation remained elusive. Until one morning, as sunlight painted her walls in gold, understanding dawned within her soul. The universe responds not to the precision of plans, but to the pulse of emotion. This truth revealed itself as Millie shifted from analyzing abundance to basking in its feeling. Rather than counting what she lacked, she began to sense the richness already flowing through her life, the warmth of sunshine, the melody of birdsong, the sweetness of breath. As she inhabited these feelings of wealth, her outer world transformed to match her inner abundance. Through this path of feeling, doors opened effortlessly that no amount of strategic thinking had unlocked. Money appeared from unexpected sources, opportunities arose naturally, and relationships deepened with genuine connection. The universe, ever faithful to emotional frequency, simply mirrored back the vibration she now held. Ray's journey illuminated this principle further. As a painter, he had abandoned his craft after years of commercial rejection. His mind told him art was impractical, yet his heart never ceased yearning for the canvas. One day, he chose to simply feel the joy of creating again, without concern for outcome. He began painting purely for the love of it, and soon galleries began calling. His work, now infused with authentic emotion, spoke to viewers in ways his technically perfect but emotionally restrained earlier pieces never had. This revelation points to an eternal truth. The universe operates through the language of feeling. While the mind can architect beautiful plans, only the heart can breathe life into them. Your emotions act as the ignition key, starting the cosmic engines of manifestation. When you infuse your desires with genuine feeling, you speak in the universe's native tongue. The practice. Take each goal or desire that fills your mind and gently translate it through your heart, rather than thinking about what you want. sink into how it feels to already have it. Let affection power your expression to the universe. For a few moments each day, set aside all planning and simply bathe in the emotional essence of your fulfilled desires. Feel the gratitude, joy, and peace of their completion as if they exist now. This emotional current carries more creative power than 1,000 perfect plans. Chapter 23. The Silent Alliance. A merchant walked through the marketplace, stopping at each stall to examine precious gems. Though many sparkled, none held the brilliance he sought. At day's end, he discovered a small stone in his own pocket, one he'd carried all along, that shone with unmatched radiance. The universe speaks in whispers, not shouts. Its voice emerges in the gentle unfolding of each moment, in the quiet spaces between thoughts. You need not seek its guidance in grand temples or distant mountains, for its wisdom flows through the simplest acts of daily life. Every instance becomes an opportunity for divine dialogue when approached with reverent awareness. Reserved Agnes understood this sacred truth. While others rushed through their days, she transformed routine moments into holy communion. The morning steam rising from her tea became incense of gratitude. Each footstep turned into a prayer of appreciation. Every encounter with another soul became an exchange of divine recognition. Through this practice, Agnes discovered that the universe responds most powerfully to consistent connection rather than occasional petition. This ongoing conversation requires no special words or ritual. It asks only for your presence and recognition of the eternal partnership between your consciousness and creation. When you treat each moment as correspondence with the infinite, life begins responding with increasing synchronicity and grace. Elmer, a shopkeeper, applied this wisdom in his small store. Rather than viewing customers as mere transactions, he silently blessed each person who entered, seeing them as messengers of abundance. He thanked the universe for every sale and even every quiet hour. Soon, his business began to flourish in unexpected ways. Regular customers brought friends, perfect opportunities appeared at precise moments, and solutions emerged naturally for every challenge. His experience reveals that intimacy with creation surpasses any forceful demand. The universe delights in co-creation with those who maintain loving dialogue through all circumstances. Your relationship with the infinite must become as natural as breathing, constant, effortless, and essential to life itself. Ancient practice of sacred correspondence. As you move through your day, whisper words of gratitude to your unseen ally. Transform mundane moments into love notes sent across the invisible network of creation. Thank the universe for the small miracles, a warm breeze, a timely message, a moment of peace. Let your heart maintain constant communion with the infinite, knowing that every sincere expression of appreciation weaves stronger threads of manifestation into the fabric of your reality. Chapter 24. The Purity Clause. Reserved. Agnes discovered that the universe operates through an intimate and ongoing dialogue. While others sought grand gestures or elaborate rituals, she cultivated a gentle awareness of life's subtle whispers. In quiet moments, washing dishes, tending plants, or walking to work, she maintained an unspoken connection with the infinite. Her days transformed into a continuous conversation with creation itself. The teaching reveals that communion with universal forces must become as natural as breathing, woven seamlessly into life's ordinary moments. The universe responds not to occasional pleas, but to consistent connection. When you establish this silent alliance, every circumstance becomes an opportunity for divine exchange. Elmer, who owned a small shop, embraced this wisdom in his own way. Rather than viewing his work as mere commerce, he transformed each interaction into a sacred moment. As customers entered, he silently blessed them, seeing beyond their immediate needs to their deeper well-being. He didn't speak of this practice, yet his business began to flourish mysteriously. Regular patrons remarked on the peaceful atmosphere, though they couldn't explain why they felt so welcomed. His silent partnership with universal forces created a magnetic field of goodwill that naturally drew abundance. The interpretation reminds us that intimacy with creation far surpasses demands or desperate appeals. When you align with the universe through quiet appreciation and ongoing dialogue, manifestation flows with natural grace. Force gives way to flow, and struggle transforms into synchronized harmony. Ancient practice. Each day choose 3 ordinary moments, perhaps while preparing breakfast, waiting in line, or walking down a hallway. In these moments, pause silently and acknowledge your partnership with universal forces. Simply whisper inward, "I recognize our alliance," and feel the invisible presence that always accompanies you. Let this practice bridge the gap between mundane activities and sacred connection until every moment carries the potential for divine dialogue. Chapter 25. The Joy Between Steps. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, sprightly Cora danced between stalls with an infectious smile, selling vibrant fabrics. While others complained of slow business, she celebrated each small sale as though it were a magnificent victory. Her radiance drew customers naturally, and soon her simple cart transformed into the market's most visited spot. The universe operates through the law of appreciation. When you honor the present moment with joy, you activate an ancient magnetic force that hastens manifestation. Your celebration of small victories sends ripples through the cosmic fabric, attracting larger ones with increasing momentum. Douglas, a skilled craftsman, once struggled with impatience while building his dream workshop. Each day brought delays and setbacks until he shifted his perspective. Instead of fixating on completion, he began honoring the beauty in each hammer stroke, each wooden joint perfectly fitted. His workshop seemed to construct itself after that, opportunities and resources appearing as if by divine orchestration. The message whispers clear. Joy itself is the achievement. When you find delight in the unfolding rather than withholding happiness for the destination, the universe responds with accelerated blessings. Your contentment in the present becomes the magnet that draws tomorrow's treasures closer. Every step holds its own perfection. Each moment contains its own fulfillment. By celebrating what is, you open the channels for what can be. The cosmos mirrors your emotional state with perfect precision. When you walk in joy, circumstances arrange themselves to maintain your delight. Your journey itself is the answered prayer, delivered in beautiful installments. Each sunrise brings new possibilities. Each sunset marks completion of promises kept. The universe teaches patience through process, wisdom through waiting, and mastery through mindful moments of appreciation. Practice noticing satisfaction already sprinkled through current moments, letting each smile become magnetic fuel. As you move through your day, pause to savor small pleasures, morning sunlight on your face, the perfect temperature of your tea, a kind word from a stranger. Let your heart fill with gratitude for these seemingly ordinary gifts, knowing they are the building blocks of greater manifestations to come. Chapter 26. The Reward of Release. In a small village among rolling hills, kind Lillian tended her garden, removing withered leaves to make space for new growth. Each plant she pruned taught her the wisdom of release. Though her heart had been wounded by love's past disappointments, she discovered that holding on to hurt was like keeping dead flowers in fertile soil. Nothing new could take root. The universe responds to emotional clarity with perfect precision. When old grievances cloud your inner atmosphere, even the most powerful intentions struggle to manifest through the haze. Your heart must be spacious enough to welcome what you seek, unburdened by the weight of what was. Forgiveness operates as cosmic housekeeping, clearing the manifestation workspace of energetic clutter. Each release of resentment opens another channel through which abundance can flow. The universe cannot deliver fresh blessings to hands still clutching old hurts. George, a merchant who had long struggled with bitter competition, discovered this truth during a moment of profound insight. For years, he had harbored resentment toward rival shopkeepers, believing their success diminished his own. His breakthrough came when he chose to bless their prosperity instead of cursing it. Within weeks, these same competitors approached him with partnership proposals, transforming former rivals into allies. The law works with elegant simplicity. What you release creates space for what you desire. Holding on to past injuries sends a signal of scarcity to the universe, suggesting that loss must be hoarded rather than healed. But when you trust enough to let go, you demonstrate faith in abundance's endless flow. Your past experiences, whether joyful or painful, have served their purpose in shaping your journey. Now they can be honored and released, like stepping stones that led you to this moment, but need not be carried forward. The universe awaits your signal that you're ready for new gifts, shown through your willingness to empty your arms of old burdens. Practice blessing every closure as completion, creating clear air for fortune's arrival. Take a moment each evening to identify one past hurt you can release. Breathe deeply and say, "I now complete this chapter with love and gratitude, making space for new blessings." Feel the lightness that follows forgiveness, knowing the universe fills every void with fresh potential. Chapter 27. The Precision of Faith. In the quietude of her morning ritual, Flora sat before her window, watching dawn paint precise strokes across the sky. She had spent years casting wishes into the universe like scattered seeds, hoping some might take root. Yet, as she observed the methodical rising of the sun, she grasped a truth that would transform her approach to manifestation. The universe operates with exquisite precision. Each thought you send forth becomes a blueprint, and vague sketches yield vague results. When you transmit clear frequencies of desire, enriched with the warmth of genuine emotion, the universe responds with matching accuracy. Your creative power amplifies when specificity joins with feeling. The cosmic forces seek to fulfill your wishes exactly as you envision them, but they require clear instructions. Like a master craftsman who needs detailed plans to build a masterpiece, the universe creates from the patterns you provide. Harvey Lee discovered this principle during a period of financial uncertainty. Instead of merely hoping for more money, he visualized receiving exactly $5,000 by the 15th of the month. He felt the joy of that specific amount arriving, tasted the relief it would bring, and trusted the timing without anxiety. On the morning of the 14th, a forgotten investment matured, delivering precisely $5,000 to his account. The law works with mathematical precision, not through rigid control, but through aligned clarity. When you merge detailed vision with emotional conviction, you activate a force of creation that moves with surgical accuracy. Your thoughts are not mere wishes. They are commands that the universe must obey. Yet precision need not mean pressure. The art lies in holding clear vision while releasing attachment to exact methods. You paint the what and why in vivid detail, while allowing the universe to orchestrate the how and when through its infinite wisdom. The secret rests in emotional precision. Feel the exact texture of your desire as though it already exists. Let your heart know precisely what it seeks, and the universe will mirror that clarity in physical form. Practice. The Precision Portal. Find a quiet moment at sunrise or sunset. Close your eyes and envision one desire with crystal clarity. Note every detail: colors, sounds, sensations. Feel the emotion of this specific outcome as though it exists now. Hold this clear picture lightly, like sunlight on water, knowing the universe is already crafting its exact reflection. Release all urgency about method or timing, trusting that precision paired with peace magnetizes perfect results. Chapter 28. The Benevolent Mirror. High in a mountain village, a weaver worked at her loom, watching each thread unite with others in perfect harmony. Through this ancient craft, she discovered a truth about the fabric of creation itself, a wisdom now passed to you. The universe responds not just to the clarity of your command, but to the spirit in which it is given. When you infuse your desires with genuine care for all beings, the cosmic forces align with extraordinary grace and precision. This truth reveals itself in countless ways, yet remains hidden until you attune your heart to its frequency. Graceful Doris witnessed this principle unfold in her daily interactions. As she moved through her world, extending genuine warmth to each person she met, doors began opening without effort. Tasks that once required force flowed with natural ease. She noticed that when she held others in her heart while making requests of the universe, synchronicities multiplied like ripples in still water. The teaching here illuminates a profound law. Kindness acts as an amplifier of creative power. When compassion leads your intention, the universe responds with heightened receptivity and grace. This is not mere sentiment, but a practical principle of manifestation. Ned's journey illustrated the opposite effect. His clever wit, often tipped with sarcasm, created an invisible barrier between his desires and their fulfillment. Sales declined despite his technical expertise until he recognized how his sharp edges were blocking the very abundance he sought. Upon cultivating genuine care for his clients' well-being, his business transformed. The very same words spoken with warmth instead of bite attracted immediate positive response. This revelation points to an essential truth. Cruelty, even in its subtlest forms, cancels the current of creation. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, protects all by diminishing the power of intentions that might bring harm. But when you genuinely wish for the highest good of all, your creative force multiplies exponentially. The interpretation emerges clear as mountain air. Kindness is not merely virtuous, but vital to effective manifestation. When you seek to benefit all through your desires, the universe conspires to fulfill them with elegant efficiency. Your compassion becomes a master key, unlocking doors that force could never breach. Sacred practice. Sit in peaceful contemplation and hold your deepest desire in your heart. Before expressing it to the universe, infuse it with the intention that its fulfillment will bring blessing to all it touches. Feel your wish expanding to embrace not just your good, but the highest good of everyone involved. Let this become your natural way of commanding, a path of power tempered by love, where success lifts all boats on its rising tide. Chapter 29. The Eternal Student. Once there lived an artisan who crafted intricate jewelry pieces. Each morning she thanked the universe for another day of learning, understanding that mastery flows to those who remain teachable. The simplicity of her approach revealed the timeless dance between student and life itself. The universe stands as the most patient instructor, orchestrating experiences perfectly suited to expand your consciousness. Each moment carries wisdom waiting to be uncovered. Each challenge contains a lesson crafted for your growth. When you approach life as a devoted student rather than a frustrated participant, the energy shifts dramatically. Your relationship with the universe transforms when you recognize every experience as sacred instruction. The traffic delay becomes a lesson in patience. The unexpected bill teaches creative problem-solving, and even disappointment reveals deeper truths about your desires. This receptive stance allows wisdom to flow unimpeded. Consider how a flower naturally turns towards sunlight without resistance or complaint. Similarly, your awareness can turn toward each experience with genuine curiosity about its teaching. This attitude dissolves resistance that blocks manifestation and creates space for greater understanding. The universe responds with exceptional generosity to those who maintain beginner's mind. When you release the need to know everything and instead embrace the joy of discovery, synchronicities multiply. Solutions appear more readily when you approach challenges with curiosity rather than frustration. Seek to recognize the classroom in every circumstance. The difficult colleague becomes your teacher of boundaries. The missed opportunity instructs about timing. And even success teaches about maintaining humility. Through this lens, nothing is wasted. All experiences serve your evolution. Remember that mastery requires perpetual openness to new understanding. The moment you believe you have nothing left to learn, wisdom withdraws. But when you bow in gratitude before each lesson, knowledge flows abundantly. This is the sacred exchange between student and teacher that has guided seekers throughout time. Practice greeting surprises with the phrase, "Thank you, teacher," thereby converting uncertainty into accelerated understanding. Chapter 30. The Throne of Surrender. A wise teacher once shared a story of a gardener who spent years forcing flowers to bloom according to her schedule. Each morning she pulled at petals and stretched stems, believing her control would yield perfect results. Yet her garden remained stubborn, withered by her anxious touch. One day, exhausted from the struggle, she simply sat among her plants and whispered, "I release you to grow as you will." Within weeks, her garden burst forth in unprecedented glory, teaching her that nature flows best when trusted completely. This reveals the deepest truth about universal law. True power lies not in asserting control, but in graceful surrender. When you cease struggling against the current of life, you discover the universe has carried your dreams forward all along. Each forced action, each strained effort, actually creates resistance to the natural unfolding of your good. Gentle Beatrice discovered this wisdom after years of methodically planning every detail of her path. She had accumulated countless manifestation techniques, vision boards, and affirmation scripts, believing that more effort would yield faster results. Yet despite her diligent practice, her desires seemed to hover just beyond reach. One evening, sitting in quiet reflection, she felt moved to release every method and simply rest in the awareness of being. In that moment of surrender, she felt embraced by an effortless alignment with life itself. Her rigid plans dissolved into trust, and the universe began orchestrating outcomes far more elegant than she could have designed. Homer's journey mirrored this profound shift. After decades of chasing ambitious goals, he found himself empty despite his achievements. In a moment of clarity, he decided to donate his carefully crafted vision boards and success journals. As he released his grip on specific outcomes, a deeper joy emerged, one that no accomplished goal had ever provided. His surrender opened space for the universe to work through him, rather than for him. This revelation illuminates a paradox at the heart of creation. Your greatest power lies in releasing the need to be powerful. When you surrender your methods, timelines, and control, you allow the infinite intelligence of the universe to work unimpeded. Like a river that flows effortlessly around obstacles, life moves with perfect precision when not constrained by human planning. The interpretation stands clear. Surrender represents the final victory in your spiritual journey. In releasing the need to orchestrate every detail, you become a true heir to universal abundance. As a servant of cosmic law, you discover that letting go transforms you from a strained creator into a graceful receiver of endless good. Ancient practice. Each morning, sit quietly and practice leaning back into complete trust. Feel the vast intelligence of the cosmos handling every detail while you rest as pure consciousness itself. Release all need to control outcomes, allowing the universe to surprise you with its elegant solutions. In this sweet surrender, you'll discover that everything you've sought through effort arrives naturally through grace. Part 4. The Infinite Continuation of Creation. Chapter 31. The Garden of Every Thought. True power manifests not through forceful control, but through the art of sacred surrender. When you release the grip of anxious striving, you discover the paradox that has guided masters through the ages. The universe serves most graciously those who stop demanding and start trusting. Gentle Beatrice discovered this truth one morning while attempting to orchestrate every detail of her life. Her calendar overflowed with careful plans. Her mind churned with strategies, yet peace eluded her grasp. In that moment of exhaustion, she simply let go. She surrendered her need to direct every outcome and felt an immediate embrace of divine support. The universe, ever faithful, began orchestrating solutions far more elegant than her mind could have designed. When you release the illusion of control, you step into your true authority as a co-creator with the infinite. This is not passive resignation, but active alignment with the intelligence that orchestrates galaxies. Homer embodied this wisdom when he stopped forcing his artistic career along predetermined paths. For years, he had pushed and strained, trying to make his talent conform to others' expectations. The day he surrendered his old ambitions and simply allowed his authentic expression to flow, he discovered a depth of creativity and joy that his goals had never promised. The interpretation illuminates a profound truth. Those who serve the universe by surrendering to its wisdom become heirs to a peace that surpasses all understanding. Your surrender is not defeat, it is your coronation. In releasing the need to control every detail, you ascend to your rightful place as consciousness itself, watching in awe as the universe handles all details with impeccable grace. Practice leaning back into trust daily, feeling the entire cosmos manage the intricacies while you rest as pure awareness. Let go of the steering wheel and notice how perfectly your journey unfolds when you allow the infinite intelligence to guide your way. In this sacred surrender, you discover that you were never meant to carry the weight of creation. You were meant to witness its magnificence through eyes of wonder and a heart at peace. Chapter 32. The Compass Within. In the depths of your being lies a sacred compass, ever pointing toward truth. Adventurous Grace Ann spent years consulting external sources for guidance until she discovered this eternal wisdom. Each morning she would scan websites, books, and advice columns seeking answers that already whispered within her heart. The universe speaks through intuition, that gentle knowing that requires no proof. This inner voice emerges from the same infinite intelligence that orchestrates the dance of planets and tends to the growth of flowers. When you learn to trust this quiet certainty, you align with the cosmic current that already knows your highest path. Roy's journey reveals this principle with crystal clarity. As a successful analyst, he relied solely on data and logical frameworks, dismissing the subtle promptings of his heart as mere wishful thinking. His carefully calculated decisions led to increasing frustration until exhaustion forced him to surrender his mental grip. In that space of letting go, he began noticing gentle nudges, inexplicable urges to take certain actions or connect with specific people. When he finally followed these intuitive impulses, his life flowed with remarkable ease. Business opportunities appeared at precisely the right moments, and relationships blossomed with perfect timing. The interpretation becomes clear. Your instinct is the universe's personal messaging system, communicating through feelings rather than facts. This inner guidance system operates beyond the limitations of rational thought, tapping directly into the infinite intelligence that coordinates all of creation. When you feel peaceful certainty about a choice, despite lacking logical evidence, you're receiving cosmic direction. Practice. Before making any decision today, pause and create internal silence. Listen for that quiet feeling of rightness or resistance. Follow this subtle compass without demanding to understand the entire journey ahead. Trust that your intuition connects directly to the same wisdom that guides stars through the heavens, leading you effortlessly toward your highest good. Chapter 33. The Law of Delight. Long ago, in a village between rolling hills, playful Elsie watched children chase butterflies. Their laughter carried a wisdom she had forgotten, that joy itself holds magnetic power. While others labored under heavy determination, Elsie discovered that delight multiplies faster than discipline when infused with intention. The universe responds most generously to those who approach creation with wonder. Your ability to manifest increases exponentially when you infuse your desires with genuine pleasure. The cosmic forces recognize playfulness as a sign of trust, an indication that you have released resistance and opened yourself to receive. This truth revealed itself to Elsie through daily observation. She noticed how forced efforts often yielded meager results, while tasks approached with lightness seemed to complete themselves with unexpected ease. What others accomplished through strain, she achieved through sparkle, allowing her inner child to dance with serious ambitions. Donald's transformation mirrors this principle perfectly. As a merchant known for his stern dedication, he pushed himself relentlessly toward success, marking each day with rigid goals and harsh self-judgment. Yet prosperity remained elusive until the day he decided to simply enjoy his work. He began humming while organizing inventory, smiled at each customer as though they brought a gift, and treated challenges as entertaining puzzles rather than burdensome obstacles. Within weeks, his shop's energy shifted dramatically. Customers lingered longer, sales increased naturally, and creative solutions appeared like magic tricks revealed at exactly the right moment. The universe responded to his shift in vibration, matching his newfound lightness with corresponding abundance. This teaching illuminates a profound truth. Maturity in spirit means preserving wonder, not abandoning it. When you approach manifestation with childlike enthusiasm, you remove the very resistance that blocks your desires. Joy acts as a divine lubricant, allowing your intentions to slide effortlessly into physical reality. The interpretation stands clear. Pleasure is creative permission granted to life. Your delight signals to the universe that you are ready to receive, that you trust enough to play in the fields of infinite possibility. Every laugh becomes a prayer, every moment of fun an affirmation of abundance. Ancient wisdom practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Welcome amusement into your most serious goals, letting playful energy infuse each intention. Feel how laughter naturally magnetizes miracles, drawing them to you with the irresistible force of pure joy. Each day, approach one task with deliberate lightness, treating it as a cosmic game rather than a burden. Watch how the universe responds to your shift from strain to delight. Chapter 34. The Bridge of Imagination. The gentle art of imagination flows through every corner of creation, as dreamy Phoebe discovered while watching clouds drift across the azure sky. She noticed how these celestial shapes seemed to respond to her thoughts, morphing into the very forms she held in her mind. This was no mere coincidence, but rather a demonstration of the universe's eager responsiveness to clear mental pictures. When you envision with feeling and faith, you provide the universe with a precise template for manifestation. Your imagination serves as an architect's drawing board where possibilities first take shape before materializing in the physical world. Each detail you visualize with emotion becomes a specification the universe follows with perfect precision. Consider the story of Haroldine, who owned nothing but a dream of her ideal shop. In quiet moments, she would close her eyes and walk through the space in her mind, touching the smooth wooden shelves, breathing in the aromatic atmosphere, hearing the gentle chime of the door as customers entered. She imagined every detail with such clarity that her heart believed in its reality before any physical evidence appeared. Within months, a series of unexpected opportunities emerged. An investor appeared, a perfect location became available, and suppliers offered favorable terms. The universe had simply followed the blueprint her imagination had drawn. This mirrors the eternal truth that imagination is not mere fantasy, but rather the bridge between the unseen and the seen. When you picture your desires with emotional conviction, you are not daydreaming. You are engaging in spiritual architecture. The universe recognizes these vivid mental images as instructions for creation. Your imagination is a sacred tool, bestowed upon you for the purpose of co-creation with universal forces. Each time you close your eyes and envision your desires with feeling, you are literally rehearsing reality into being. The key lies not in forcing or straining, but in allowing your mind to play freely within the realm of possibility while maintaining unwavering faith in the universe's response. The ancient mystics understood this profound truth, that imagination infused with belief becomes the mold into which universal energy flows. This is why visualization has been a cornerstone of manifestation throughout the ages. The universe does not distinguish between a reality vividly imagined and one physically experienced. It responds to both with equal obedience. Practice. Take time each day to stroll across that bridge between the visible and invisible. Let your imagination paint detailed pictures of your desires as if they are already real. Feel the texture of your dreams beneath your feet. Breathe in their essence and allow your heart to experience the joy of their presence. This is not mere fantasy. It is the first step in bringing your visions into form. Chapter 35. The Law of Gentle Persistence. In the quiet dawn, patient Ida sat with her morning tea, observing how water transformed leaves not through force, but through steady steeping. This simple ritual taught her the profound truth about manifestation, that persistence flavored with gentleness yields far sweeter results than demanding intensity. The universe responds to the quality of your attention rather than the volume of your requests. Like a delicate flower that opens naturally to sunlight but closes when handled roughly, your desires unfold most beautifully when held with tender consistency. Each time you align your thoughts with calm assurance rather than desperate pleading, you allow the universal forces to work unimpeded. Leonora discovered this wisdom during her journey to artistic recognition. Rather than frantically promoting her work, she chose to paint daily with serene dedication, holding a quiet knowing that her art would find its perfect audience. She infused each brushstroke with joy rather than anxiety about outcomes. Morning after morning, she simply showed up to her canvas with peaceful anticipation, trusting in divine timing. Within a year, her paintings began attracting attention effortlessly, with galleries reaching out to her in synchronistic ways she could never have orchestrated through forceful action. The teaching here illuminates that the universe operates through harmony, not through pressure. When you maintain steady faith with the lightness of a feather rather than the weight of a stone, you allow cosmic forces to arrange circumstances with elegant precision. Your role is to hold your vision with unwavering but gentle focus, like a parent watching a child take first steps, present, encouraging, but not interfering. This wisdom reveals that permanence in manifestation grows from peace, not from pressure. Just as a mighty oak develops through years of quiet growth rather than forced expansion, your desires materialize most solidly when nurtured with patient trust. The universe responds not to how loudly you ask, but to how steadily you maintain your peaceful knowing. Practice combining patience with pleasant expectation, trusting each steady heartbeat to remind the cosmos of your faith. Chapter 36. The Messenger of Contrast. In a small cafe between shadows and light, observant Trudy sat contemplating why certain unwanted circumstances kept appearing in her life. As rain tapped against window panes, wisdom dawned like morning sun through clouds. These events were not cosmic punishment, but precise feedback from an infinitely caring universe. The universe speaks through experience, using contrast to guide your alignment, just as a radio dial seeks clearer frequency. When static interrupts your favorite song, the solution lies not in lamenting interference, but in gentle adjustment. Each challenge arrives as a messenger carrying vital information about your vibrational broadcast. You see, the universe operates with impeccable precision, reflecting back exactly what frequency you transmit. When unwanted circumstances persist, they serve as mirrors showing where your energy requires refinement. This is not punishment, but partnership. The cosmos collaborating with your growth through perfectly tailored feedback. Clifford discovered this truth during a period when his business faced mounting setbacks. Initially, each difficulty felt like evidence of failure, drawing him deeper into dread. Yet one autumn morning, while watching leaves dance in the wind, he realized these challenges were actually highlighting opportunities for energetic adjustment. Instead of resisting the contrast, he began greeting each setback with gratitude, understanding it revealed exactly where his vibration needed elevation. He stopped fighting against what was, and started appreciating the precise guidance being offered. Within weeks, solutions appeared effortlessly, and his business entered a remarkable revival. This transformation occurred not because circumstances magically changed, but because Clifford changed his relationship with contrast. He recognized that the universe was not working against him but for him, using each challenge to guide him toward clearer alignment. You too can embrace this understanding. When unwanted experiences arise, pause to recognize them not as obstacles, but as opportunities. They are simply showing you where your frequency could use fine-tuning. Just as a loving parent guides a child through gentle correction, the universe uses contrast to direct you toward your highest good. The path of manifestation becomes smoother when you stop resisting these messages and start treasuring them as the precise guidance they are. Every contrast moment carries within it the seed of greater clarity, if only you'll receive it with grace rather than judgment. Practice. Take a moment each evening to thank every contrast moment for its secret lesson. Before shifting focus to what feels better, acknowledge the gift of guidance being offered. This simple act of gratitude transforms resistance into receptivity, allowing you to upgrade your signal naturally and effortlessly. Let each challenge become a stepping stone toward clearer alignment with all you wish to create. Chapter 37. The Music of Intention. Melodic Etta sat at her cherished piano one peaceful morning, noticing how the keys seemed to dance differently beneath her fingers as her moods shifted. When anxiety clouded her thoughts, even perfect scales rang with subtle discord. Yet when joy filled her heart, every note sparkled with crystalline beauty. Through this simple observation, a profound truth revealed itself to her consciousness. The universe operates as a grand orchestra, with your emotional frequency conducting every element of your experience. Just as a piano responds to touch, the cosmic symphony arranges itself according to the feeling tone you emanate. Your emotions serve as the invisible baton, directing the harmony or discord of circumstances that surround you. This is not metaphor, but mathematical precision, the law that governs how energy transforms into matter. Every feeling you hold becomes a note in the universal composition, attracting corresponding vibrations that manifest as your daily experience. When you maintain an elevated emotional state, you automatically command life to orchestrate events that match that frequency. Guy, a business consultant, discovered this principle during a particularly challenging period. His meetings often dissolved into tension and disagreement until he began experimenting with this universal law. Before each gathering, he would spend several minutes singing softly to himself, deliberately cultivating genuine feelings of happiness and harmony. The results proved remarkable. Discussions that once sparked conflict began flowing with unexpected ease and cooperation. His experience demonstrates that when you consciously tune your emotional frequency to joy, the universe must, by immutable law, reflect back circumstances that resonate at that same frequency, like attracts like with unfailing accuracy. This is not magical thinking, but rather the precise operation of vibrational law. The interpretation becomes clear. Your emotional state acts as a tuning fork, sending out a specific frequency that the universe must match. Just as a tuning fork causes nearby strings to vibrate in harmony, your sustained feeling. Tone creates a resonant field that draws corresponding experiences into manifestation. Practice. Begin each morning by humming softly while holding thoughts of joy in your heart. Let the vibration of your voice merge with the feeling of your desired experience. Maintain this harmony throughout your day, knowing that as you hold this frequency, the universe orchestrates all circumstances to dance in perfect rhythm with your inner song. Chapter 38. The Equal Exchange. Sincere Winnie watched as neighbors passed her garden gate each morning, their faces weary from daily struggles. One day she began leaving fresh flowers by their doors, expecting nothing in return. To her amazement, abundance flowed into her life from unexpected sources, teaching her that the universe operates through circulation rather than accumulation. The cosmic law reveals itself with elegant simplicity. Giving and receiving are not opposite actions, but different expressions of the same energy. When you release blessings into the world, you create space for greater good to enter. The universe maintains perfect equilibrium, ensuring that every genuine gift multiplies in its return journey. This wisdom echoes through the ages, demonstrated through countless lives. Lawrence, a struggling artist, discovered this truth when he set aside his own creative ambitions to mentor young talents in his community. Rather than depleting his resources, this choice activated a hidden law of increase. As he poured his knowledge and encouragement into others, his own artistic opportunities doubled unexpectedly. Gallery owners began seeking his work, and commissions flowed naturally, not because he chased them, but because he had aligned himself with the law of circulation. The universe operates through mathematical precision in its exchanges. Every sincere offering creates ripples of reciprocity that return amplified. This is not transaction, but transformation, the natural expansion that occurs when consciousness opens itself to serve rather than acquire. Generosity speaks in the language of gratitude, and the universe responds in kind. When you give with pure intent, without calculating return, you activate forces beyond visible accounting. Your gifts become seeds planted in fertile cosmic soil, multiplying through natural law rather than human effort. The interpretation illuminates a profound truth. Reciprocity exists as an automatic function in universal mathematics. Like the ocean's tide that must flow out before flowing in, prosperity follows the rhythm of release and receive. The universe ensures that nothing given in love is ever lost. It simply transforms and returns multiplied. Practice. As you move through each day, look for opportunities to give freely, whether through kind words, helpful actions, or creative contributions. Feel each gift as a joyful release, knowing that the same universal law that turns seeds into forests guarantees abundant return. Trust that your generosity opens channels through which multiplied good flows effortlessly back to you. Chapter 39. The Signature of Authenticity. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, honest Opal stood behind her modest stall, watching others boast of their wares with grand gestures and loud proclamations. She had tried mimicking their showmanship, but each attempt felt like wearing ill-fitting clothes, and customers sensed the dissonance. One quiet afternoon, exhausted from pretense, she simply spoke from her heart about her handmade crafts, sharing both their beauty and imperfections. To her amazement, patrons began lingering at her stall, drawn not by dramatic claims but by the authenticity of her words. This simple truth illuminates the deepest wisdom of universal law. Your energy carries a unique signature that cannot be forged or disguised. The universe responds not to the performance you present, but to the vibration you truly embody. Like water finding its natural course, life flows most abundantly when you allow your genuine nature to guide your expression. Byron, a musician who spent years imitating popular styles, discovered this truth after countless rejections. When weariness finally stripped away his artificial persona, he began playing melodies that emerged naturally from his soul. Within months, these authentic compositions attracted opportunities that his polished imitations never could. The universe operates with unfailing precision in this regard. It reads your energetic signature like a cosmic fingerprint, responding not to the carefully crafted image you project, but to the honest frequency of your being. Every pretense creates static in this divine communication, while vulnerability opens clear channels for manifestation. When you release the exhausting effort of maintaining appearances, you activate a profound law of creation. Authenticity magnetizes authentic results. The universe delights in genuine expression, rushing to support those brave enough to stand in their truth. Consider how nature never pretends. A rose doesn't strain to be an orchid, and a stream doesn't attempt to flow uphill. In their natural state, they fulfill their purpose perfectly. You hold this same innate wisdom. Your unique vibration, when expressed honestly, harmonizes with universal forces in ways that no imitation could achieve. Practice being exactly yourself, so existence recognizes its true partner and rushes to complement your courage. Chapter 40. The Lighthouse Principle. Once there lived a woman named Tessa who emanated such serenity that others naturally gravitated toward her presence during difficult times. While chaos swirled and tempers flared, she maintained an unwavering inner light that seemed to calm the very air around her. The universe reflects this profound truth. Your steady vibration becomes a beacon that guides all surrounding energy into harmony. Just as ships find safe harbor by following a lighthouse beam, those around you unconsciously align with your frequency of peace. When you understand this principle, you recognize the immense power of maintaining consistent positive energy. Your stable frequency acts as an anchor point, automatically reorganizing chaos into order, discord into harmony. The universe responds to this steadfast signal by orchestrating events and circumstances to match your peaceful resonance. Simon, who managed a corporate office filled with tension and conflict, witnessed this transformation firsthand. Rather than trying to control or fix external circumstances, he chose to embody the same quiet strength he had observed in Tessa. Each morning, he sat in silence, cultivating an unshakable core of tranquility before entering his workplace. Gradually, without direct intervention, the office atmosphere began to shift. Where heated arguments once erupted, measured discussions took place. Team members who had previously clashed found themselves naturally cooperating. The change happened so organically that few noticed it was occurring. Yet all felt its effects. This demonstrates how your energy field becomes an organizing force for the collective. Like a tuning fork that brings surrounding instruments into harmony, your consistent peace creates a resonant field that others naturally attune to. The universe, ever obedient to vibration, responds by reflecting this harmony back through improved circumstances and relationships. You need not announce your intention or convince others to change. Simply maintaining your own frequency of peace is enough. The law of attraction ensures that your steady signal becomes a natural point of calibration for all who enter your sphere of influence. Remember, you are not responsible for changing others. Your role is simply to hold your light steady, allowing the universe to use your frequency as a reference point for realignment. As you maintain this constancy, you become a living lighthouse, a beacon of stability in any storm. Sacred practice. Center yourself in joy each morning before engaging with the world. As you move through your day, consciously maintain this inner radiance, regardless of external circumstances. Notice how others unconsciously begin orienting themselves around your steady light, finding their own way to calmer waters through your example. Your consistent peace becomes a gift not only to yourself, but to all who encounter your presence. Part 5. The Eternal Mastery of Manifestation. Chapter 41. The Divine Timing Trust. In the quiet hours before dawn, Linda paced her garden path, mind churning with frustration over dreams that seemed to tarry. Though she understood the principles of manifestation, the gap between desire and fulfillment tested her resolve. Each morning, she checked for signs of progress, yet the universe appeared to move at its own unhurried pace. The wisdom that transformed her perspective arrived not in a thunderous revelation, but in the gentle observation of nature's timing. As she watched her rose bushes, she noticed how each bud opened precisely when ready, never early, never late. No amount of willing could hasten their blooming. The universe operates through divine coordination, a masterful orchestration that arranges circumstances, people, and events into perfect alignment. What appears as delay to human perception is often intricate positioning taking place behind the scenes. Every pause serves a purpose. Every wait weaves necessary elements into place. Jerome, a musician, discovered this truth while pursuing his lifelong dream of performing. For years, he pushed against closed doors, growing increasingly frustrated as opportunities seemed to evade him. Then one evening, exhausted from forcing his timeline, he surrendered his scheduling to the universe. What unfolded next demonstrated the artistry of divine timing. A series of seemingly unrelated events, a chance encounter at a coffee shop, a canceled appointment that led to an unexpected meeting, a last-minute invitation, wove together seamlessly. Each moment clicked into place like notes in a symphony, creating opportunities far more elegant than anything he could have orchestrated himself. The universe doesn't operate on human schedules, but moves with a precision that encompasses all factors, seen and unseen. What feels like delay is often protection, preparation, or positioning. The cosmic choreography requires certain elements to align, certain energies to mature, certain circumstances to ripen. Your role in this divine dance is not to direct but to trust. Every moment of waiting carries within it the seeds of perfect timing. When you release your grip on when and how, you allow the universe to arrange circumstances in ways that serve not just your stated desire, but your highest good. This isn't passive waiting, but active faith. It's understanding that universal forces are constantly moving on your behalf, even when the surface appears still. Like a master conductor, the universe knows exactly when each instrument should enter to create the most beautiful composition. Sacred practice. Take a moment now to reframe any current pause in your manifestation journey. Rather than seeing it as delay, recognize it as divine positioning. Feel the relief of knowing that universal forces are arranging perfect conditions for your desires' fulfillment. Celebrate this moment of preparation as though it were itself a gift, understanding that cosmic timing never errs. Let your trust in this process be the energy that signals your readiness for the next magnificent movement in your life's symphony. Chapter 42. The Living Prayer. In a small cottage among flowering gardens, devoted Alma spent years repeating prayers like memorized verses, believing sacred communion required specific words arranged in perfect order. Yet something felt missing. Her heart yearned for deeper connection beyond ritual repetition. One peaceful morning, as sunlight streamed through her window, Alma noticed how naturally she thanked the warmth touching her skin. In that moment, she understood. Every feeling was a prayer rising to the attentive universe. Her gratitude for morning coffee spoke more clearly than formal invocations. Her peaceful sighs while tending flowers rang truer than rehearsed verses. The universe listens not through ears but through the resonance of your being. Each moment pulses with potential for communion. Your dominant attitude becomes your most sincere and constant prayer, shaping reality more powerfully than any words could express. This truth revealed itself to Hank, who transformed his hardware store from struggle to abundance through sacred attention. Rather than reciting affirmations, he turned each act of organizing shelves and helping customers into silent worship. He felt grateful while sweeping floors, peaceful while calculating receipts, joyful while greeting each person. Soon his store hummed with prosperous energy, drawing exactly what he needed without effort or strain. His experience proved that prayer exists not in words alone, but in the quality of presence you bring to each moment. When you infuse daily life with reverence, the entire universe responds as your devoted partner in creation. Every breath becomes blessing. Every action becomes offering. Every thought becomes invocation. This way of living transcends traditional concepts of prayer, revealing that consciousness itself is the altar upon which all manifestation occurs. Your emotional vibration sends continuous signals to the cosmic forces that shape circumstance and synchronicity. The interpretation stands clear. When you recognize all of life as sacred conversation between creator and creation, your entire existence becomes powerful prayer. Each moment offers opportunity to align with divine frequencies through simple appreciation and peaceful presence. Practice carrying reverence into simple actions, recognizing existence as conversation between creator and creation. Chapter 43. The Law of Gentle Power. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, modest Naomi watched merchants competing for attention, their voices rising above one another in an endless crescendo. She noticed how the loudest voices often drew the least genuine interest, while the quiet confidence of certain vendors naturally drew crowds without effort. Through this observation, a profound truth unveiled itself. The universe responds more readily to quiet certainty than to forceful demand. Just as water flows naturally around stones rather than being pushed, reality arranges itself most elegantly around those who stand in peaceful assurance. When you understand this principle, you recognize that mastery expresses itself through presence rather than proclamation. True power needs no announcement. It simply is. Like the sun that warms without speaking, authentic authority radiates from within, touching all it encounters without strain or struggle. Vernon discovered this wisdom during his years as a teacher. Initially, he attempted to command respect through stern authority and rigid rules. Yet the more he asserted his position, the more resistance he encountered. Everything changed when he began listening deeply to his students, offering them the gift of his full attention and genuine concern. As Vernon softened his approach, a remarkable transformation occurred. The respect he had tried to demand now flowed to him freely. His classroom became a sanctuary of mutual understanding, and his influence expanded far beyond the school walls. Without raising his voice or imposing his will, he found himself naturally guiding not only students but fellow teachers who sought his counsel. The universe operates through this same principle of gentle authority. It does not need to announce its power. Every sunrise demonstrates it. Every seed that sprouts speaks of its quiet mastery. When you align yourself with this truth, you discover that authentic influence flows from presence rather than pressure. Consider how a mountain shapes the winds without movement, how the moon pulls the tides without touch. This is the model of true authority, the power that comes from being rather than demanding. As you embrace this understanding, you find yourself naturally stepping into a state of effortless influence. Practice combining humility and certainty, breathing calm assurance into every deliberate thought. Chapter 44. The Ripple of Recognition. In the gentle light of an ordinary morning, observant Sylvia sat at her kitchen window, watching sparrows gather breadcrumbs with precise timing and grace. Where others saw merely birds eating, she recognized the perfect orchestration of life's smallest moments, how each creature arrived exactly when needed, neither too early nor too late, in harmony with universal rhythm. The teaching emerges clear as dawn. Miracles don't always arrive dressed in spectacular robes. They come wearing simple garments, The unexpected phone call bringing exactly what you needed to hear. The red light that delayed you just long enough to avoid trouble ahead. The casual conversation that opened doors you didn't know existed. The universe speaks through whispers more often than shouts. Each time Sylvia acknowledged these subtle blessings, she noticed more appearing. A parking space would open just as she arrived. The last item she needed would somehow remain on the shelf. Small coincidences multiplied like ripples in a pond, teaching her that recognition itself acts as an invitation for more evidence of divine coordination. Patrick discovered this truth during a period when larger dreams seemed distant. Instead of focusing on what hadn't manifested, he began celebrating the small synchronicities, the way his coffee was perfectly brewed each morning, how the sun broke through clouds just as he needed encouragement, the way certain songs played at precisely meaningful moments. As he trained his attention on these minor miracles, life began responding with grander displays of synchronicity. Within weeks, opportunities he'd been seeking for months suddenly appeared. Doors he'd been knocking on swung open effortlessly. The very projects he'd been visualizing materialized, as if they'd been waiting for him to notice the smaller blessings first. The interpretation shines with crystal clarity. Awareness itself becomes a magnetic force. When you acknowledge the universe's constant communication through small moments of perfect timing, you amplify the frequency of recognition. Like an appreciative audience encouraging a performer, your attention to small miracles invites the universe to continue its display of synchronicity. Small moments of divine alignment serve as practice for recognizing larger manifestations. They train your eyes to see the invisible threads connecting all events, revealing the careful consciousness orchestrating even the most mundane details of existence. Practice acknowledging every tiny manifestation as applause from the universe, reinforcing your ongoing dialogue. Chapter 45. The Eternal Dance of Creation. In a quiet garden, Radiant Hattie watched butterflies dance from flower to flower, never tiring of their graceful journey. As she observed their endless motion, a profound truth settled in her heart. There is no final destination in spiritual mastery, only eternal unfolding. The universe operates not as a finite game with winners and losers, but as an infinite dance inviting constant participation. Each achievement opens the door to new possibilities. Each realization sparks fresh curiosity, and each manifestation births deeper desires. When you grasp this truth, the weight of perfectionism dissolves. There is no pressure to arrive, only joy in the continuous movement of creation. The universe delights not in completion, but in the perpetual expansion of consciousness through experience. Cliffy embodied this wisdom after achieving his dream of opening a successful art gallery. Rather than resting in accomplishment, he felt a stirring for greater expression. He began teaching children to paint, which led to establishing art programs in schools, which inspired community murals, each endeavor flowing naturally into the next. His energy remained vital because he never treated success as a finish line. The law of attraction responds most powerfully to those who maintain the spirit of beginners, even while mastering principles. When you approach each day as a fresh canvas, the universe matches your openness with endless opportunities for creation. This eternal dance requires neither strain nor worry. Like planets spinning through space, Your role is simply to keep moving in harmony with divine rhythm. Each step forward reveals new horizons. Each turn brings unexpected beauty. Each moment offers another chance to express love through action. The interpretation reveals that mastery lies not in reaching some imagined peak, but in remaining gracefully engaged with the process of becoming. The universe asks not for perfection, but for passionate participation in the ongoing miracle of existence. Practice swaying inwardly with gratitude, letting each breath become another graceful step in the cosmic waltz. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. The eternal dance between consciousness and creation never truly concludes. It merely transforms. Through these sacred chapters, you have witnessed the universe's unwavering devotion to reflecting your inner state. Like a mirror that captures not just image but essence, it responds to every nuance of your being. You now understand that manifestation flows not from demand, but from harmony. The universe serves not through subordination, but through sacred partnership. When you whisper with gratitude, it amplifies your song. When you move with grace, it orchestrates synchronicity. When you shine with benevolence, it multiplies your light. This power carries profound responsibility. Each thought ripples through the fabric of existence, touching lives beyond your knowing. Your emotions paint the canvas of collective experience. Your beliefs architect the structures of shared reality. Therefore, wield this influence with wisdom, ensuring every vibration you send carries healing, joy, and upliftment. Remember, you do not stand separate from creation, but dance as one with it. Your consciousness is both the music and the movement, the rhythm and the response. The universe mirrors your mastery not because it must, but because unity is its nature. It delights in your delight, expands through your expansion, and blesses through your blessings. As you continue your journey, carry this truth. You are not merely a participant in life's grand performance, but a choreographer of cosmic design. The world transforms not beneath your feet, but through the radiance of your awareness. Every moment offers a fresh opportunity to direct this infinite energy toward greater good. The faithful servant called Universe listens eternally, eager to translate your next loving intention into manifest form. Through your benevolent vision, creation itself evolves toward ever-expanding harmony.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.